Donald Trump in the Middle East, right? Which is which is absolutely fascinating when you think about it. I want to make this perfectly clear. I want to lay to rest. It should lay to rest every single fuckwad on this planet who's been whining and moaning and bitching about genocide. Jewish Nazis and genocide. 19, I think it was 19. The entire Arab world. Donald Trump went to. You don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to have voted for him. You don't have to be a fan of his. This is not praising. This is not like, some kind of rant about, the great Donald Trump. Donald Trump went to Israel and gave a speech in front of the Knesset and it was standing ovation, and they cheered him for like 2 hours. And then he got on a plane, went to Egypt, and got the entire Arab world to sign an agreement on a ceasefire and got the hostages back. An agreement that was negotiated by his Jewish son-in-law and his Jewish envoy. And 19 Arab countries went along with it, signed on to it. And I just want to make this very, I can't stress this enough. If you've been peddling that fucking nonsense about Israel genocide for the last 2.5 fucking years, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Because that doesn't happen. The Arab world and all these countries didn't come together in Egypt and sign a ceasefire deal negotiated by that was celebrated by the Israeli Knesset, Israel's prime minister, 19 Arab countries, negotiated by Donald Trump's Jewish family members and his Jewish envoys. So, put that fucking canard, that fucking lie, that fucking Hamas propaganda lie to rest, period. End.
It's not going to, though, right?
No, it's absolutely not going to. Because anyone that knows anything about what's happened there knows that it is not a genocide. And if it is, the one thing the Jews are horrible at is genocide, apparently. They're just not good at it at all because they're spending way too much time worrying about civilian lives to succeed in their genocide. They're really, really bad at it. So either they're not genocide or they're the world's worst genociders.
And once again, the entire Arab world wouldn't have come together and signed a peace agreement negotiated by Jews and acceptable to the Israeli prime minister and the Knesset and Israel.
I just want to chime in here. I'm not a big Trump fan. A lot of times I'll poke holes or, argue back when you say positive Trump things. But this is an absolute good that Trump did. He should be shouted from the rooftops for what he did here. I don't think the Nobel Peace Prize is out of the question. I could easily see him getting it for this, especially if, it's too early to tell, right? There's still, there's been at least one airstrike that I know of and you've got also Hamas is killing Palestinians in the street after this thing was signed. Go fucking figures. Crazy cults do crazy cult shit. What a weird fucking surprise. But it is amazingly good. He was getting cheers from the Jews and the Arabs for the same thing. That's fucking amazing. Just stop and think about that. Dude, when I was I knew you wanted to talk about this. I was doing research. I read an article by NPR that praised Trump about this. Whoa. National Public Radio praised Trump about this. So I could really easily see, just like we have a lot of fatigue for wokeness, I could see that wokeness fatigue just kind of translating into Hamas supporting fatigue at this point. The Hamas is wonderful at propaganda, spectacular at propaganda.
Oh, they truly are.
If Israel would have shown and pushed and did the same kind of propaganda campaign that Hamas did about the attacks on October 7th, we could be looking at this thing differently. People are just simply responding to the feeds that they say. They live in a bubble. They don't think things through from first principles. They don't seek out information beyond their silo, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this 1,000 times. But Mark, I've wanted to ask you for the past few weeks, do you think Israel made a mistake in not what's the phrase? The phrase is Israel doesn't do PR badly, they just don't do PR. Is there truth to that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, that's very true. And I don't know if it's a mistake or not. I really don't. Because they're going to get accused of the worst possible things imaginable anyway. Like what would be the point? Like, they're already like no matter what the Israeli government says or the IDF says, and they can have video, right? They will have it on video of Hamas executing people, right? And then the sites on social media like Drop Site News, the Quds News Network, etc., the foot soldiers for the Hamas pro-Palestinian cause. It doesn't make any difference what videos exist, who took them. It's always Israel's fault.
I think they should fight tooth and nail in the propaganda war, just like they do in the actual wars on the ground.
But it's like when you see them like give up and they just have this laissez-faire, like no one's going to listen to us anyways. It just seems so like I'm taking my ball and going home. Like, dude. Propaganda war is everything from now on, dude. Social media is so important for shaping young minds. Do you want to exist in 20 years or not?
So, all right, well, let's segue from, I don't know, should we have a final word? Should we close this out? I just want to reiterate once again, I really don't think that people realize that a lot of people do not appreciate how big of an accomplishment it was. And I know, so yeah, there's all kinds of headlines, especially lots of social media headlines and, fulminations about, there's been some breaches in the ceasefire, etc. The 20-point plan put together and the Arab world, signing on a deal that's going to inevitably rebuild Gaza is fucking huge. Fucking huge, man.
But yeah, so you see my point. I love the fact that you get it, and I hope that they start with the propaganda war, and I hope it's disrespectful to the hostages. I understand why when they showed here in Los Angeles footage from October 7th, it was at a closed viewing with only selected people invited. I get it,
yeah,
but it doesn't help us trying to make this when there's college kids that see a few videos of horrible things. Of course, the Palestinians are victims for a lot of reasons, not just bombs dropping on them, but the fact that they're born under Hamas and have been taught to hate since the second they came out of the fucking womb also makes them a victim.
Yeah.
And this is help us help you. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I just think it's really smart and really, really very, very on point, Scott.